No, he dumped me. Yeah. You know, a 43-year-old who lives in the slums of Philadelphia and has never been in a long-term relationship said that I had too many red flags. Hi everyone, I'm Jack Tracy, and this is Dying Alone Together, your pandemic-era guide to navigating the dating and hookup apps, right up until the US Supreme Court finally abolishes dating entirely and designates a local pastor to choose our relationships for us. Now, while I myself have a black belt in faggotry, I assume the advice dispensed in this video will apply to all sexualities and gender identities for the most part. But if anything in this video triggers or offends you in any way, be sure to bottle up all of that rage so that you can unleash it onto your unsuspecting friends and family. Last week, I taught you how to take a fucking hint. You can watch that here. And this week, I'm going to start a recurring series on red flags. Now, one doesn't need a subscription to the Hallmark Channel to see the most common red flags that will surface during a relationship. Like a partner who isolates you from your friends and family, is routinely unfaithful, or saves his own urine in an underground bunker just in case. But the ability to identify red flags before you enter a relationship is always much more valuable, and that's because it can be much more difficult to do. After you make that initial connection with someone, it can be easy to be lost in infatuation or be blinded by expectations or a 7.5 to 9 inch hog. So this week I'm going to focus on 3 red flags that you can look for in the apps themselves that will hopefully help you weed out potential life destroyers before your genitals start to tingle. Our first red flag applies to both dating and hookup apps, and that is the blank profile. Now, I don't think I even need to get into the no picture profile. I think we're all pretty clear on that as a no-go, but the blank profile is just as sketchy, especially on a dating app. We've all heard that the key to any good relationship is keeping your stupid fucking mouth shut, but also communication. And the first bit of insight that you have into someone else's communication skill set is their online profile. If that profile is blank, this person is simply not putting themselves out there enough to be taken seriously as a potential mate. On the other hand, if the profile is too verbose, this person is likely what we all commonly refer to as a lot. Now, if the person has filled out the profile, but it includes gems like, ugh, I hate filling these things out, or, my worst fear is filling out an online profile, I want you to make sure that you've stretched before your first date, because you're in for a marathon evening of eye rolling. The person whose first impression is a complaint on the fact that they have to make any effort to impress you at all beyond cleaning their mirror before taking their underwear selfie, likely doesn't have a good grasp on who they are as a person or on how to communicate their wants, needs, and feelings to a potential partner. In either case, chuck this fish back out into the sea. And that goes for the hookup apps as well. The level of attention someone gives to their profile on a hookup app is indicative of the level of effort someone is going to put into actually meeting you. You can be sure that a person with a blank profile is not going to make a plan to bone you. Their only plan was to toss a line into the water and, should someone bite, decide whether to meet up with them right then, at that moment, based on the current state of their erection. So, rule of thumb all around. If a person does not take their online profile seriously, don't take them seriously. Today's second red flag is the headless torso picture. Now, you might be thinking to yourselves that this is purely a problem on the hookup apps, but no, there are plenty of faceless Hinge and Tinder profiles out there as well. A headless photo on any app sends one of 3 possible messages to a potential fellator. 1,
I do not want to be identified.
This person is either cheating, using fake pictures, but isn't ready to commit to fully stealing someone's identity, or is ashamed to be on the app entirely, be it shame over their sexual orientation, their sex drive, or their specific sexual desires, like someone who messaged me on an app asking me if I needed to take a shit. Oh, don't worry, he used a poop emoji, so it was cute. While another person's shame may not matter to you when you're fully dilated, or might actually be a turn-on for you, remember that someone who doesn't want to be easily traced is someone who might be able to get away with murdering you. Or worse, might be a Republican politician. If that's not the message they're sending, the message sent by a headless horseman could also be, I don't think that I'm attractive. Note, that message is not, I'm ugly, but rather it is that that person thinks that they are unattractive. This may not be the case. Beauty, as we all know, is subjective and very much dependent on how late it is and how hard I am. So the red flag here isn't that you might be sending whole pics to Quasimodo, but rather that this person likely has a very low self-esteem and may not be in good working order for you to want to pursue. And if it's not either one of those subtextual messages, the message sent by a headless picture is likely that this person's into anonymous sex. And if you are too, you know what? Unlock that door, crate your dog, and hide your wallet and laptop in the dryer, because that's just a personal preference. For me though, if you're not man enough to put your face in your profile, you are not man enough to fuck me. Finally, today's third red flag, something I guarantee you will fight with me on in the comments that will never see the light of day, is the profile that says, I'm just looking for friends. And that's because, no, you are not. You're not. You're not. And I can tell because your friend-focused profile is chock full of nudes, or also includes a message like, but open to seeing what happens. So no, you're not looking for friends. Rather, you are either one, too ashamed to admit that you want all of the benefits of a relationship without having to give any level of commitment or put in any effort into another person or treat them with any iota of respect. Two, you're actually looking for sex, but you feel better about it if you sneak your way into the back door through the friendship door. Or three, you are confused because a dating or a hookup app isn't a place you go to make new friends. It's not the place, Brenda. And if you're saying to yourself right now,
Jack, I think you're being a little nuts right now, just because, I'm looking for something more, it doesn't mean that I'm, not open to the idea of, making a new friend.
I want you to ask yourself whether you would want to be friends with someone who walks up to you in the middle of a Pep Boys and asks you where the carrots are. They're in the wrong place. Just as everyone has a list of red flags that they look out for in others, it's important to remember that you yourself also carry numerous flags. Personally, I have always believed that rather than hiding our flags to slowly unfurl over time, we should be waving them proudly from the jump, because there's nothing more attractive than self-awareness. Also, you want a suitor who sees the price of admission up front and doesn't get sticker shock. In the end, we would all rather be with someone who saw up front what they were getting into, rather than someone who, upon further information, may eventually regret choosing us. And if you ever think for one moment that your red flags make you entirely undateable, I want you to just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and repeat to yourself, a woman agreed to marry Stephen Miller. Until next week, where I continue waving my own red flag, which is of course disclosing every dark corner of my own dating life on the internet, stay safe, wear a mask, and if you're a gay man, disclose your preferred sexual position before you meet someone. Let's not leave penetration to chance. I'm Jack Tracy signing off, reminding you that if we're all gonna die alone, we might as well do it together. If you enjoyed this program, I want you to go ahead and like this video the way that you do Instagram memes that hypothesize that RBG has been reincarnated as a fly. Smash that subscribe button the way you would any right-wing militia member who's planning to kidnap Governor Whitmer and overthrow the Michigan state government so long as he has a donkey dick. And turn on notifications so you can know right away when there's a new video of me ruining your erection by sneaking in clever, creative, current-day political references into a show that really should just stick to being one long-running dick joke. You can also check out all 3 seasons of Necessary Outlet's gay dramedy History, several comedy shorts, and a few music videos fully featuring my homosexuality, all on this YouTube page. Enjoy.